Happy Wednesday, everybody. Welcome to the Midnight Express. Midnight Express is a real short run around the neighborhood of pop culture, geek culture, any breaking news that happened today for about anywhere between a half hour to 45 minutes. Usually I don't have topics. It's generally just an open mic, but obviously I did make a promise because, like I said before, when this whole Superman Legacy thing started, given the fact that I'm 2 years away from being able to sit down in front of a finished product, I just didn't feel like exhausting myself over talking about the minutia unless there was something to report. So that kind of changed today when the reports of Nathan Fillion being cast as Guy Gardner, and then we'll go over in the article after I say hi to the chat. Obviously, there have been some other additions made. I am okay. I like Nathan Fillion. He's been in a lot of stuff I like, and there's some stuff that I've watched that that I would not have watched without him being in it. However, some of the characters that I'm hearing that are being added to this, I'm starting to get JLI vibes. And although I love the Justice League, I hated the Justice League International. I really loathe the Justice League. And listen, Keith Giffen is one of my favorite DC artists and storytellers, but I believe he was behind Justice League International, and I cannot stand Justice League International. So I'm hoping it's not going down that road. Like I said, I have no evidence that it is. And if it does, hey, I just won't watch. But I'm more of a core Justice League guy. You always hear people make fun of me because I say the Trinity, but that's 80 years of proven history. The further you get, when it comes to Justice League, the further you get away from Superman, Batman, and the mainline characters, and to some of the characters that are complementary characters, the stories start to get weaker, in my opinion. That's why Blue Beetle is an HBO Max thing for me. Right now, I don't have any plans on going to see Blue Beetle in the theaters. End up being a great movie, fine. Who knows? I may change my mind, but I've never seen Blue Beetle as anything more than a support character. And with DC right now, I just haven't been given enough meat in regards to their mainline characters to really care about another support character. I've been given 5 to 7 years of support characters. And you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and sit this one out. Like I said, HBO Max is what it was created for, or Max. And you know what? That's where I'll most likely see it, but something could change. All right. Hey, go to bed, Vince. Thanks for getting that video done for me, dude. How you doing, Jalen? Hal Jordan, how appropriate that there's a Green Lantern here. Steve, what's going on? Yeah, as soon as I'm done here, Zeke, I am going to jump right in to Secret Invasion because I have been enjoying the hell out of Secret Invasion. I am a Cold War kid, like I explained before. I grew up on a military base. I'm third-generation military. I've gone to war. I have relatives all over that gone to war. I have relatives that have served in government agencies, and I have been a big student all my life of the Cold War. And this reminds me of Cold War espionage, just throwing some aliens and shape-shifting. I mean, it's just been great. I don't see why. I don't know why it hasn't caught on, but I love it so far. So, how you going, Antonio? All right, JR Server, and I'll answer this question before I get into the article. One thing I've been wondering when you talk about resolving the Snyderverse with the Flash satellite performing like it has, do you think it decreases the chance of that? No. There are going to be some things that are going forward one way or another that that have had disastrous box office result. James Gunn is ahead of DC Films after Suicide Squad bombed and lost the money. But it was a great movie, in my opinion. And they looked at things. You got to look at business on one hand, and you have to also look at circumstances in the other. Did the Flash fail because it was a bad story, or did the Flash fail because of prior management and some poor decisions from incoming management? If you look at it, if you do your autopsy, you have to pay attention to the results because you can't be reactionary and just say, well, this movie did horrible, and say, well, there's no demand or audience for it. Otherwise, then why did they greenlight Peacemaker off of a poor performance that was the Suicide Squad? A lot of people like Peacemaker, right? It did well for them. Had they made a reactionary decision or waited to see what the box office was, then we would have never gotten Peacemaker. We would have never gotten Shazam because Shazam didn't do all that great at the box office, the first one. There was really no evidence saying that there needed to be another Shazam movie, but we got one. So not every decision necessarily is going to be made solely on how a film performs at a box office. There may be other criteria, and DC Studios now inherited a lot of poor decisions from the Hamada regime and the Emmerich regime and the Sarnoff regime and the teacher. I mean, it just goes back, all the way back. So I believe at some point that, somebody will, even if it's not Gunn. The resolution should happen with people who actually have regard for that particular project. Right now, I've evolved with this. I don't want James Gunn to have anything to do with the Snyderverse. It's not his. Just like I don't want anyone else coming in, once he's done with his thing, and once he puts his signature on things, and I don't necessarily want anybody coming in and putting their stamp on that. That's his thing. If it's got to be resolved at this point, just give me a cartoon. Give me a cartoon, or be honest with you, the comic book store owner in me says put it in a 12-issue maxi series. Give me a Watchmen version of this with all kinds of variant covers, man. Make some money for us, little guys, because could you imagine that? Limited editions, reprints, variant covers, 12-issue, cover everything. Jim Lee, Jay Oliva. I mean, getting together, something like that. I no longer need it to be on the big screen because, to be honest with you, the people that are currently involved in DC, their goals are so drastically different. I don't know if I would want their hands on it right now. So, but like I said, I don't think that the box office hurts that at all because, like, Andy Muschietti is probably still going to direct Brave and the Bold, Batman Brave and the Bold. His movie had a disastrous box office result, but it was a good movie. So sometimes the criteria goes beyond that. Steve-O, I would prefer Gunn just do a Superman movie without the use of those other. You know what? And I have some concerns, but I have no reason to believe that these characters that he's introducing are just going to be anything beyond like small cameo roles. He made a statement on Twitter today saying that the story is still focused largely and primarily on Superman and Lois. So I'm going to keep taking him at his word there. And also remember when we saw how the Flash was coming together, everybody was trying to make it into a Michael Keaton movie. And well, yes, Michael Keaton is in the movie, but it's a Flash movie. So yeah, he's adding these people, but for all we know, they could have a total of 10 minutes in the movie on a 2-hour and 20-minute movie. So we got to wait till we see. He's setting setting the table going forward for what he's going to do. And since this is his first most important movie that he'll do in this entire project, I don't mind him adding them. I just hope it doesn't get bloated. But like I said, all we have are announcements right now. And that's why after we go over this tonight, I'm going to go back into my cave, and then we're not going to really discuss Superman Legacy that much unless we have direct news to go into. All right. All right, Zach gets a chance. He needs to hire Torrance Winter, who wrote Boardwalk Empire. It's kind of, in my opinion, would fit with Zach's vision of his movies. Like I said, I be honest with you, I'm not. I just don't know what the landscape is for it. To me personally, I know I told you guys a couple months back. I was, and I still want to do this once I get a 3D printer. I really think that all of the stuff that took place before Gunn's universe needs to be released in special box sets, Blu-rays, and DVDs. Yes, I know the physical media is dying. Just the regular ones, though. I mean, you don't have people who aren't just walking up buying standard stuff off the shelf anymore like they used to. And there's no longer blockbusters and any Hollywood videos, things like that. However, you go to any outlet, whether you go to, when Fry's was out here, but when you go to Best Buy or when you go to Walmart, when you go to Target, the stuff that is moving and the stuff that moves off the shelf for me is the special edition stuff, the box sets. And I keep saying, what you want to do if you ever wanted to resolve it like this, the actual story arc is each one of these movies that took place during this time, make a box set, make a special looking set. The BVS one needs to look like that Batmobile that was in BVS with the top that comes off and 2 action figures in it. The Batman one that was in there and the Superman one that you can stand up on the thing so that we know the whole "Do You Bleed" scene. And then you pop it open and then there's a Blu-ray. But you also add to it, each one of these stories would have a part of the final story arc, the final battle with Darkseid. So when you release the Flash, bam, you have a piece of it. So when you buy them all, you have them all. You could also buy the final edition, which to me would be a globe, a lenticular hologram. So when you turn it, remember that scene in Zack Snyder's Justice League where the Earth is scorched? When you turn it one way, it scorches the Earth with Darkseid symbol on it. And when you turn it the other way, it's just a normal planet with the Justice League logo. And that globe set would have all the editions. But each one of them would have like a posting credit added to the Blu-ray or the DVD that would build up the story. Wonder Woman would have the battle between Darkseid's forces and Amazon, all that. And make it animated because you can make it cheap. Make it cheap. Your profit margin, it costs nothing to make Blu-rays and DVDs. And it's a tragedy for the Blu-ray market that physical media did go a downturn because of the price markup between manufacturing DVDs and that what they cost is a big one. So that's where I would like to see it, because then it would be in the hands of people who handled the story before. And then if James Gunn wanted to get involved and promote his stuff in there with it, you know what, that's fine. But I think these box sets would sell. Like I said, I had the Wonder Woman one with the lasso and her shield on it and her sword on it, and you could actually take it off. The Flash one would have the lenticular hologram of all, the people that were in that movie. Shazam, I mean, all of them. I mean, like I said, even the movies that didn't do well in the box office, people like cool, shiny stuff. Like I told you before, there's people, I saw somebody at a Best Buy buying a Golden Girls Blu-ray set because it looked cool. I stood right next to this lady who said, "Oh, what's this? This looks cool. Oh, I've heard of the Golden Girls. This looks neat." And it was cheap because you can sell them for cheap. So that's where I'd like to go ahead and see it. I don't necessarily need to see it on the big screen. I just would like to see it somewhere where I can look upon the storyline with the completeness that it just doesn't have right now. Plus, it's profit. Let's do Forrest 1000 Gut said he's not interested in origin films or solo movies, so it looks like it's going to be a random hodgepodge of characters in every movie. Like I said, I know there's an announcement out there, but and this is one reason why I'm going to hold back. I have not seen a script. I have not seen a premise other than what he's given us, and that's really nothing. So we're going to sit and stew in our heads for the next 2 years, and I'm just not interested in that. Like I said, we're going to go over these articles because there was news today or yesterday that was released. Other than that, I'm just not going to go dive into it that much unless we start getting news on a much more frequent basis. So it's a Superman film, or I don't know. Like I said, I don't know, and I don't want to speculate. By the way, the strike is about to get really crazy. Yeah, and you know what? Man, the studios are looking like Gargamel off the Smurfs, man. They are looking like assholes. All right, I think the other heroes are just introductory cameos. Yeah, and that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping. And from what his tweet said today, that's what it seems like. So, like I said, I got 2 years to figure this out. I will put money on that Muschietti does not direct. Brave and the Bold Studios don't care about quality. Well, hold on there. Well, I'll I don't know if it's legal for us to be making this bet. I mean, I am in Vegas, but James Gunn is the head of DC Studios. The only thing he has ever done, and I know he's got Guardians of the Galaxy, and everybody always tries to draw that comparison, but Guardians of the Galaxy was part of a major machine. DC is not that machine. The only thing he's done for DC lost them money. Yet they were able to determine that it was a good movie. This is our guy. I don't think Muschietti is going to. I don't think he's. I mean, he could be wrong. I don't think he's going to be the victim because there's just too many things beyond his ability to make a film that doom the Flash. So I don't think that's necessarily going to do his job. Yeah, and that's another thing. As much as Justice League, impressive as Justice League Unlimited is, it's a cartoon. A cartoon going from I don't mind going from live action to animated if you're going to do a direct adaptation, because the tone has already been set in live action. I don't think the action that is in these cartoons, even Justice League Unlimited, which is a modern day one, it's perfect for the format that it is in. I don't know if I want to see that emulated in a live action. I don't think the tone crosses over. I don't think you have the look and the feel that he's going to need. You're talking about an audience that watches cartoons versus the average moviegoer. They're not necessarily the same. So I hope that's not the case, but we'll have to wait and see. Superman Legacy will be Clark Lowe. Yeah, that's what he said. Heart Girl's a Justice League member. Yes, not an original. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of like League members that are just that just Booster Gold. He's a favorite. He's a leader. Crimson Fox. Ice. I mean, there's a lot of Justice League members. A lot of them were created, just in the Justice League, and I don't mind them being in there. It's just that Justice League International just represents an era where it was just like it just wasn't a good one, and so I'm not getting good vibes when I hear that. But and as they drift further and further away from the main characters, that's where, in my opinion, in my 40 years of buying Justice League type comics, that's where the story starts to suffer, and they always end up going back to the core group, with a couple of add-ons in there. So I don't mind Hawkgirl being in there. Like I said, it's preferential for me. If you're going to do Justice League, and if you're going to make it work and making money, Superman, Batman, Green Lantern, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, you start there. Whatever else you want to put on the periphery, have at it. But those characters I just mentioned are the engine that drives the train. They create the atmosphere that a character like Hawkgirl, Blue Beetle, Booster Gold can exist in. So as long as they do it in sequence, I'm okay. Yeah, especially physical media that is, like I said, the stuff I would design. Like I said, Batman versus Superman, it's in the Batmobile. That kick-ass Batmobile that he had in there, that Superman ripped the top off, that top would come open, and you could actually place the figures in there. Wonder Woman, like I said, her sword and her shield on a box, and it's wrapped in the lasso of truth. The Flash, I think I'd do the Flash with his costume is switching between the Justice League armor and the one that he actually has in the Flash movie. And then I would have different logos on all the ones that were in there, like the Supergirl logo, Superman logo, Supergirl logo, because they're all in that movie. Aquaman, I would have the trident wrapped, and it would be his uniform, that orange top that he would have. That would be the actual box cover, but it would have a trident that you could actually take out and extend. I would have that for Aquaman. Who else we got? Birds of Prey. I mean, like I said, you could visually make these, and when you put these on the shelf, people are going to buy them based on that alone. And then, like I said, you get your remastered editions, your edited scenes out there, and then you give 15 minutes for each of these. Like Wonder Woman is going to happen. Remember that scene that we saw where Wonder Woman is being buried on a funeral pyre and Darkseid's ships coming out? I want to know what led up to that. Tell that story there. The Flash on the cosmic treadmill, reaching back into to talk to Bruce, put that in the Flash. 15 minutes for each one, and by the time you're done with all of them, you've told your story, and you sold some. You've made money off of stuff that you already made money off of. You're making profit. So I physical media that looks cool does even stronger. The only thing DCU the studio will touch probably be the Ayer cut. I don't think the Ayer cut has too much of a chance. He's been indicating for a long time. And you're right. Maybe the writer's strike. We've been hearing about the Ayer cut is pending for a long time now. And, what format are they releasing it in? I'm not really sure. I mean, hey, if we get the Ayer cut, great. I've always said that the only reason why you do the Ayer cut is if you're going to further explore the characters that movie was made to put forth. Harley and Joker Quinn. They were they were there basically to bring you to where they would have been, at the end of the cycle. But we never got that. So if you're not going to get the rest of it, then, I don't know. Per Culture Creative Studios and streamers plan to reportedly break. Yeah, somebody sent me that article today, and my goodness, while I was reading it, I heard Darth Vader's march, the Imperial March in the background. They just want to force choke the industry, which I think is quite sad. So what news from the strike for us who played Diablo 4 and not followed movie news? I don't think it affects the video game at all. James Gunn's whole writing style is cartoon with a few bad words. I don't know, man. He's got some. I mean, cartoon in the Beavis and Butthead and Ren and Stimpy way, maybe. How you doing, Jacob? Justice Gut said Justice League Unlimited is basically his 10-year plan. Mr. Terrific and Hawker are already cast. Yeah, and I think that's where the concern people have. You know, these really need to be cameos the first time around. I don't need to see these characters given prominent roles for quite a while. You know, they just, Superman flies by. He helps him for a couple of minutes, basically. But Justice League Unlimited, this is what gives me pause about his 10-year plan. I'm just gonna have faith that he's gonna have the ability to make what is appropriate for a cartoon appropriate for live action. And when you say basis, there's a difference between basis and foundation. You can start off loosely with a basis, and that's just where you start from. I don't need a live action Justice League Unlimited. It's great where it is. Those two worlds do not need to collide for me. Think of an interesting good that can come from the writer strike. Studios can look at indie films, indie horror, foreign films. Now, because like I told you before on this, if there's no big businesses or big business being done, the distributors are not putting their money behind anything else. You can only make so much money off of indie horror or foreign film. You don't make any money off of foreign film. You can forget that right there. These things are cool, and I watch them. They don't have the mass appeal of the things that they would be giving up. Yes, they can outlast the writers and the actors, and well, not necessarily the actors, because some of those actors are mega bucks. But the majority of the people that are in these unions have other jobs to support their craft. Majority of these writers are working somewhere else. They're working at your grocery stores. They're working, at your dealerships. They're working at your restaurants. They're working as real estate agents. They're working at other things. The majority of these guys, they can kind of wait them out. The actors, they probably can't. But if the entirety of the machine is not running, then the little scraps and, drabs that you're going to get from indie, that's not going to generate enough revenue for anybody, studios included. People are going to be asking about Aldous Hodge's Hawkman. I am anyways, but not expecting anything. I would not be surprised to see him there. That's why you didn't get a casting announcement, because he's technically already casted. And who knows? You may see him run down. Some of these characters that they're using, you may see him down the line. He may do his own. I think he's going to eventually. I think they should have did this already, but I think he eventually will do a Kingdom Come type of thing with those characters. I just don't know if it's anytime soon. William Guy Gardner is 38 years old in the comic. How he played by Nathan Fillion, I don't know. Nathan Fillion, let's go ahead and bring this article up while I got this up here, because that's really one of the things I meant to. I forget that I actually have a topic, because on Midnight Express we usually don't. Tonight we do. Let's see. All right. This and the image that I use is courtesy of IGN. And this is their article. All right, make sure we got up on the screen. All right, here we go. Superman Legacy cast Nathan Fillion as Green Lantern alongside Hawkgirl and Mr. Terrific. Nathan Fillion is joining James Gunn's Superman Legacy as Green Lantern with Edie Gathegi I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And Isabella Merced also announced for the film's cast. They joined David Cornsett, who will play the Man of Steel, and Rachel Brosnahan, as Lois Lane. Vanity Fair was the first to report the story. Phelan will play Guy Gardner, a hulking mass of masculinity who is somehow likable despite being well obnoxious. Having played a similar role in Doctor Horrible, where he portrayed superhero Captain Hammer, Phelan seems like the perfect choice. The character is known for his Red Bull haircut, which Fantasy Fair confirms will be part of Phelan's look in the new movie. Oh, you have to be. You couldn't do Guy Gardner with any other hair. Phelan is a mainstay of Gunn's films, having previously appeared in Gunn's The Suicide Squad as a detachable kid, and was killed immediately. As well as Slither and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Phelan rose to prominence through Firefly, where he played Captain Malcolm Reynolds in both the film and the subsequent movie. Galaxy, a character from the Twilight and X-Men First Class films, will play Michael Holt, who is known for being a brilliant inventor who first appeared in the 1997 issue of Spectre. Mr. Terrific is part of the Justice Society of America and has a rivalry with Batman, which may plant future seeds in DCU. As for Merced, she will play Hawkgirl, who first appeared way back in the 1940s. There have been many iterations of Hawkgirl over the years, but all of them are known for using swords, spears, maces. Merced's previously appeared in Cesario de Sodalo. She was great in that, actually. I saw that. Superman Legacy is well underway amid a writer's strike, Gunn announcing in April that the movie had entered in pre-production. Legacy will mark the true big screen beginning of Gunn's DC Studios Peter Safran's revamped DC, which they revealed in January. During the announcement, Gunn only said he was writing Superman Legacy. Decided in March, however, he would direct as well. There was never any question who should direct that. For more on Superman Legacy, check out our breakdown on why Gunn's been using all the right words to describe it. Okie dokie. So there you have it. I think he is going to use the Justice Society, the pre-existing one. That's only been in one movie. I think you'll see that. I do think you'll see Aldis Hodge again. I mean, I don't have it on any firm authority, but I think he took a liking to those characters. So, all right. Superman's origin has been told a million times. Same with Batman, but I'm sure some origin movies will happen. I would be okay if they just did flashbacks, to be honest with you. Hold on for a second. You know what? I don't need the origin stories of some of these characters that have been around 60, 70, 80 years. I don't need it. I mean, we got it. You want to tell me on flashbacks, you want to show me the pearls getting ripped off her neck, Bruce Wayne's, but I mean, that's cool. Flashbacks are fine. I agree with we don't need origin stories every time around. Let's hit the ground running. So I'm there with that. All right, William thought in the studios, the streamers reportedly have no intention. Yeah, we hit on that. Yeah, which is, like I said, a lot of this stuff is, even though, and this is what, why I'm kind of slowing down with this whole Superman talk. Yeah, James Gunn said it's 2 years away from yesterday that it's going to happen, but how much is this, how long are these strikes going to last? And how long is this going to delay other projects? And even though you're not directly delaying Superman Legacy and all the other stuff, other projects are being put on hold that have to happen. I mean, it's going to be a mess. I'm thinking we're looking at 2.5 to 3 years before we get any of this. But you know what? He says 2 years. He's in pre-production. Like I said, if the actors go on strike, if this thing lasts until January, I heard filming is supposed to start in January of next year. Or is that what I mean? I think it's next year. So it sounds like these guys want this strike to last long enough to really break the will of the union, which I think is horrible. The end game is to allow things to drag on until the union. Yeah, we see that's despicable. That means, listen, I know that the studios have a side in this, but that tells me they're not negotiating good faith. They have no intention of negotiating in good faith. So that's messed up. JR Server, something they were talking about in the Film Junkies live stream the other night. How long do you think they'll be till they make that? Yeah, I heard that. Not very long. I think we'll get something like that. Maybe Kevin Smith will do it. Who knows? Will the strike alter? I think so to a certain extent. I just don't know to what extent. It all depends on who. If the SAG strikes, then yeah, and it depends on how long they strike too. Like if they strike and then 2 weeks later we have an agreement, I think we're in the same ballpark of our expectations. But if this has already gone on, dude, I haven't seen my late night TV shows in quite a while. Last week with John Oliver, man, it was supposed to have been back, so it's already starting to affect certain things. Eventually, it's going to start expecting the big things if it keeps if it lasts this long. But if what the studios are saying, if they're really behind that, we could literally be going into October, November, January with no movement. That's scary, man. Be careful, William Gunn will hear your ideas for DCU collector set and use them without giving you credit. You know what? Take it. Take it. If what I get out of it is something cool to put on my shelves and sell and a resolution to a story I started in and fell in love with, and you get to make a little bit of cash, that's okay with me. They have my permission. William, did you see Timothy? Oh, yeah. Listen, dude. Willy Wonka creeped me out as a kid. Every iteration of Willy Wonka continues to creep me out as a grown man. The next time I see Timothy Chalamet, it's going to be in Dune. All right, that's it. Yeah, it's on video, but like I said, hey, James, if you're watching this, hey, you know what? I'll be in Comic-Con with the Troma groups. The Troma group, I'm actually sponsoring my trip to Comic-Con, so I'll be working with them all 4 days. I'll just slip my idea to Lloyd and say, hey, next time you see James, slip this to him. To tell me he can keep the credit. Just give me a mention. Give me a mention in the on the slip sheet, on the slip case. Marcus Cruz, how are you doing? 4,000 comic movie genre is dying. The Boys and Invincible Spider-Verse movies are all the last bastion of great comic movies. Besides those three, it's all gone. Oh, I don't know, man. Listen. I think the movies that you are talking about, though, are proof that good comic book movies can still make money. We'll have to see. Like I said, I can't make a case for the future right now because of the way the present and the past has been handled. So you could be right. Who knows? See, I don't have a problem with James Gunn. I have a problem with some of the decisions that him and Zazoff and Safran have collectively made. I think those decisions are going to slow their momentum again eventually. But I think eventually they will get to where they need. I just think they're costing themselves a lot getting to that point. Guys, go see Mission Impossible. It's amazing. Tom Cruise confirmed that more MI movies after this. It's not. Oh, yeah. That crazy mofo wants to do this shit till he's 80. He's crazy and he's immortal. That's all you need to do Mission Impossible till they put him in the ground for real. Yeah, I sent a bunch of people to go see Mission Impossible. If you look at our Saturday overnighter, Cody, we sent Cody Brockop from the Brockop side. We sent him. He did a Sci-Fi Center review for us. So take a look at that if you guys haven't seen it. I plan on seeing Mission Impossible this weekend. So, William, you think it's time for WDW to make a live action Jetson and Johnny Quest? Hey, you know what? If you'd have asked me a year ago, I'd have said, "Are you out of your mind, Antonio?" But guess what? Guess what? We're getting Barbie. We've got Mario Brothers. I have no interest, desire whatsoever to see Barbie, but it doesn't matter. Barbie is going to back up the Brinks truck, in my opinion, and make a lot of money because it is a multi-generation thing that hasn't been done in live action before. So, yeah, let's do the Jetsons. Let's do the Jetsons. Let's do Johnny Quest had a little bit some problems, though. I don't know if you get away with doing Johnny Quest, but the Jetsons, let's do it. Let's do it Blade Runner style because we were both lied to in Blade Runner and the Jetsons. We were supposed to have flying cars by the time those shows actually took place. So there you go. All right, so let's be asked again. I do not follow the trades or movie news or anything, and the news of the WGA strike has been a bit vague. So what's going on with the strike? All right, right now there has been no movement whatsoever in the WGA. They have not negotiated in weeks, so that's nowhere. So wherever you were at 3 weeks ago. Not only has there not been any movement, but the behind the scenes, it is suspected that the studios have no intentions of negotiating with them in good faith. Added to that, it looks like SAG-AFTRA, which is the Actors Guild, is about to go on strike as well, which is one of the reasons why you're getting a lot of these announcements right now, because they want to get it out before the strike hits. It's one of the reasons why Comic-Con is going to be basically barren of all the chaos that Hall H has become. That's why I'm going, by the way. Is because all this is about to go down, and it's about, in my opinion, to get worse. So right now, WGA is on strike, and there's been no movement, and there's been no discussions for weeks, as far as I know. So that situation is not getting better. The Actors Guild is about to go on strike, and I don't know how long that's going to last. But if anybody can outlast the Writers Guild, like I said, is made up mainly of people who have other jobs and they write on the side, and then some of them, like 5% of them, maybe can actually do it for a living without doing anything else. Actors, a little bit different. You have different levels of actors, but a lot of them make more money than writers, so they could probably last a little bit longer. But two of the three guilds, are about to be on strike, and the other one is the Directors Guild, and they, DGA came to an agreement. But like I said, it sounds like, and if you look at it from like a Netflix point of view, I hate the way everyone is handling this. They look like villains. Like I said, they look like Gargamel wanting to eat the blue little people. But Netflix's entire business plan depends on getting as much out of this as possible. And with AI, with intellectual properties, with rights, streaming rights, this is the most important work stoppage in a long time for any walk of life, whether it be sports, entertainment, doesn't matter. Because of the rise of artificial intelligence, because of the rise of streaming and streaming revenues and residuals. So I know why they're holding firm, because that means I'm giving up a large portion of the pie that would make it in some cases to where they can't justify some of these projects that they're getting. But on the other hand, I side with the Writers Guild. I side with the Screen Actors Guild. Is you have to have some type of cap or control of your intellectual property that you can make revenue off of alongside these streaming companies. So if you do a streaming show, and it's streaming and it gets sold over and over and over again, where do you get your cut? It's just like when things went on in syndication, and you had, Big Bang Theory people getting as much money off of residuals as they do. It's the same thing. It's just different technology. So it's an adjustment, but the greed aspect of the studios, some of them don't want to give up that money. Warner Brothers really doesn't want to give up any more money than they had to give up anyway, because they're a company and huge amounts of debt that they incurred. Netflix is $12 billion in debt as well, but they generate a lot of revenue. But depending on how much money they would have to put forth as part of any agreement, that could alter their business plan to the point where they're not Netflix anymore. So there's a lot of moving parts in this, and I agree with you, Clint. I don't think it has been reported in the type of details, because even though the studios are acting like Darth Vader and the Emperor, there are legitimate business factors that they are concerned about. They're not handling it properly, but that still needs to be brought to the surface so that you understand what the other side is going for too, because there's very legitimate concerns of what the unions are going for. And everywhere I've seen it, it hasn't been really reported in detail. And I wish other bigger news venues would, because it's about to affect us all. All right, William thought of Nathan Fillion will have a bow. Yeah. If you're gonna give me Gardner, which I could do without because he's my least favorite Green Lantern, but hey, he's there. You got to give his ridiculous Mo cut. You can't. There's no way. That's his signature. If you cannot do it, it's gonna look ridiculous, but it's part of Guy Gardner's character. Alan Richardson to be Guy Gardner. He's the right age. William thought Christopher Nolan reportedly upset that Barbie is releasing the same day as Oppenheimer. That may be Warner Brothers sticking it to him over Tenet. Because Because remember, after Tenet, he basically forced Tenet into the theaters, and it ended up, during the pandemic, and it ended up losing Warner Brothers $50 million. And then he blasted Warner Brothers and walked away. So that may be Warner Brothers being like, you know what, we're gonna run right over you with our pink Corvette. Even though, like I said, personally, I will not be anywhere near Barbie. The closest I'll get to Barbie was when I'm walking past it to go see Oppenheimer. But make no mistake, Barbie is going to absolutely crush Oppenheimer. But Oppenheimer's, going to be my preferred movie. William, also, there was reportedly an attempt by the movie theater community to get Barbie pushed back, but Warner Brothers refused. Yeah, because Warner Brothers is basically saying, fuck you to Christopher Nolan. At the same time, they kind of were courting him to come back. So I'm wondering who's in control here, because I know Zaslav would be happy to have Christopher Nolan back. I think Nolan's overrated. That's just a personal preference. But at the same time, you're sticking it to him by putting this movie on what could be an Oscar-winning movie for him. And the theaters are right to have that concern, because even if the studio, it's really surprising that they're going forward with this, even though it's two different demographics. It's two mainline movies that need screens, and family-wise, there are going to be families that are going to go see the Barbie movie. I don't know what kind of family you're taking to Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer is a brutal movie. It's about a very brutal and devastating topic. They've already said that there's a lot of sex in it, and there's long sex scenes in it. This is not a family movie. So if you're the parents and you want to go see Oppenheimer, but you got to take the family to go see Barbie, there we go again with having two good movies, and one of them has to go simply because of affordability and time. Usually the movie theaters will avoid that, because even if they believe that they have a movie that'll stop on the other movie, that's still cut. Whatever percentage that they don't get, that's still a percentage that they could get if they staggered it. But hey, all fair in love and war, I guess. William Thon Peter Safran says new audience can watch upcoming DC movies without knowing anything about the past. We're trying to minimize audience confusion and maximize their enjoyment. I'll have to see how it's presented. You can do that. That's a very doable thing. I don't have enough information to say, you know what, yeah, but, because I don't know what they're keeping yet and what they're going forward with. Big business movies seem to be done. Audience don't care if studios spend $250 on a movie, especially when a smaller movie can bring in a revenue with less risk. Tentpoles are a disease. Yeah, you're going to have a hard time telling that to a studio or stockholders, especially after they see movies like Mission Impossible, doing the movies that they do. Especially when they see movies like, Top Gun and all these other ones. I'm not saying you're entirely wrong, Force 1000. That case is dead on arrival to a studio, though. You can do plenty of big business with indie horror purchase of foreign films. Now, okay, you're talking to a guy who is a big, at least foreign horror films. Dude, I have shown just about everyone Korean, Italian, Spanish, Thailand, everything. I put it on my screen in my small screening area, and when no one else in Vegas was doing it. So I am a proponent of these movies. They do not have the mass appeal for that type of investment. They just don't. And yeah, they make good money. They make good profit. But, they're not, the stock value is not going to go up on an Italian horror movie. Sorry. Even if I love those movies. I don't know about Batman. I did like him as Hawk, though. How you doing, Spider-Man? Fourth, he will be repurposed under gun and another Jackson's treasure. I don't know. Guy Gardner, out of all the Green Lanterns, is a perfect Guy Gardner for to be honest with you, if John Cena wasn't already playing Peacemaker, John Cena could actually play him, because Guy Gardner's costume hides his form. He wears the vest. He's not like Jon Stewart or Hal Jordan or Kyle Rayner. He does not wear if you look at Kyle Rayner's or Guy Gardner's suit, it's the Green Lantern pants, but it's a vest. And it's usually, depending on how you draw him, a bulky vest. So he could be a bulky guy. I don't think it would hurt him. He ain't Batman. We have different views on that, and Oliver Queen is a huge actor. on CW had muscle. Yeah, but Oliver Queen in general as a comic book character is not necessarily. He's a lean guy. He has muscle tone, but he's not bulky. I mean, depending on who draws him too. Comic books are different. It's a mess. We need just cancel DC. There are other stories to be stored. No. All right, let's see. We already said that months ago that was going to happen. That Blue Beetle was going to be the first character, but the first movies were going to be Superman Legacy and Creature, whatever. Agree. They're not. Yeah, they're not. They're not acting in good faith, and they're saying it. They're saying the silent part out loud, and they damn sure don't want the government to get in mediated. You see how they almost crapped in their pants at the thought of the feds coming in to mediate that, because they could put in binding mediation, and they're not playing. Like I said, when you're not operating in good faith, the last thing you want is a federal mediator to get involved. William Donovan, Vanessa Kirby said it would be an honor to play Sue Storm. She's an amazing source. Vanessa Kirby is an excellent actress. I think she can play just about anybody. Oh, okay. This generation is going outside. That's hilarious. I watched FBI at CBS in the fall. William Thornton Harrison Ford reveals his reaction when he first saw Indiana Jones in costume. Why am I carrying a whip? What am I going to do with a fucking whip? Am I going to whip people? A legitimate, valid question when you don't know the backstory of the character. William Catch Dead Reckoning. That's the best movie of the year. Oh, even better than Across the Spider-Verse. I have high expectations for it. I have enjoyed every Mission Impossible movie out there. I have truly been thrilled and entertained by even the ones that certain people don't hold as high regard as others. I am a fan of every one, and in my opinion, this is just my opinion, they have gotten better with each one. My favorite is the last one I saw. Fallout was great. I loved Rogue Nation. I loved Ghost Protocol. I mean, I loved all of these. I mean, and this one looks absolutely insane. He's getting crazier and crazier and crazier as he does not age. Oh, come on, guys! I think we're putting dirt on the coffin a little bit too soon there. I don't know if he's using a plastic surgeon. I think he just listen. When you got that kind of money and you can eat the best foods and you have the best physicians who can keep you in shape and the best personal trainers, you don't always. I don't think he's done any plastic surgery. He's just that kind of guy, and I think now if you've all ever watched Stargate SG-1, there's a device called the sarcophagus that the Goa'uld used to heal themselves when they get wounded. I think he might be sleeping in one of those. Maybe there may be some black magic involved. I don't know. We're doing an advanced screening of I believe both Barbie and Oppenheimer on 2 different nights. I don't know if I know I'm not making Barbie because I'm just not going. The Oppenheimer one is on July 18th. And that's the week I go to Comic-Con, so I may or may not wait. I may go see it while I'm at Comic-Con, while I'm in San Diego. I don't know if I'm going to go to the advanced screening. But I have not bought tickets yet, but I will. If it ends up that I have to go on my own, then I will buy my tickets probably next week. Or, next week because it gets released on the 23rd. As far as Barbie, no, I have not bought tickets for Barbie. I have no plans on. I mean, I don't even have any criteria. I mean, good for what? I mean, good for a Barbie movie? I've never seen one. Good for Barbie accuracy? I don't delve into the Barbie universe. I just don't. This is if there's ever a movie that says William, don't come in here. This is the movie. If you know what, it's historical, so it runs that risk. But I'm a history buff, so the things that might bore some people excite me. I hope the Thundercats movie with that director from Godzilla vs. Kong is still coming out. Thunder. You up with that? Oh, Attack on Titan is big. I have never watched it, but I get, it's Japanese anime. Guys, you think Tom Cruise and Mission Impossible After Dead Reckoning Part 2? I feel like no, he's not going to. Did you hear him the other day saying he'd like to play Ethan Hunt as long as Harrison Ford played Indiana Jones? Harrison Ford's 80. Tom Cruise has just turned 61. 61. And he's aging a hell of a lot better than Harrison Ford. I like 90s anime, Ghost in the Shell, Demon City. I like Ghost in the Shell. Still me. Someone's going to have to tell them to me because, like I said, I have no chance. William lies. I found his Barbie dolls, his stash in the store. I'm sure he plays with them. No. Now, we have dolls in the store, but they ain't Barbie. Yeah. Oh, Muschietti, yeah. Ryan Gosling is miscast. You know what? I see. I can't answer that question because I don't know what being miscast as Ken means. Sorry. Yeah, probably not. I know you probably want to see something there, but yeah. Plus, he's not even white. He's tan. He's like orange. Yeah, I still need to get those guys on the show for the interview that they promised me for Blood and Honey 1. Damn it. All right, William, thought on over 20,000 AMC staff members have purchased tickets to watch both Barbie and Oppenheimer. Yeah, they're doing it as a joke, which you know what? That's going to help Oppenheimer. Barbie didn't need to help. That's going to help Oppenheimer because if they're doing it as a gag, so if there's as many seats being sold for Barbenheimer for Oppenheimer as there is for Barbie, that's good for Oppenheimer. That means people who didn't have plans to see that movie are going to go see that movie. John Cena could play Terminator, even though I want any more. You know what? I want a Terminator movie. If I had the money to buy the franchise, I would scrap everything that came after Terminator 3. None of that should exist. I would have the first 3 Terminator movies, and then I would take my money, get the best makeup and best CGI guys, the de-aging guys, as much as you need to, and I'm going to get the entire cast of Sarah Connor, the Terminator Chronicles back. I'm going to get Lena Headey. I don't care how much money she asks for because I'm going to have a lot of money to do it. I'm going to get what's his face? Megan, what's his face? Husband, Jason Scott Green, whatever his name is. I'm going to get him back as John Connor's brother. Wherever that goofy kid is, I'll get him. I'm going to get Shirley Manson as the T-1000 that was in there. I'm going to get the guy who played there, and I'm going to start my Terminator franchise back up from there. I'm going to do a TV show that finishes that one off, and then that's where the Terminator franchise would go. Because every movie that came after Terminator 3 was an absolute waste of time for me. William thought on Zolo Madrina. I'm not even pronouncing that right. Teases cameos for Blue Beetle. If you're a DC fan, there's going to be a lot more than just one character. I'm pretty sure they'll have some in there. He may be. What's going on? Azteca, we're getting 28 years later. Original writer Alex Garland will be involved, and possibly Danny Boyle as well. Cool. I tuned out of those movies back in the day when they were first released because remember the early 2000s there was just a bunch of zombie movies coming out. William, did you see Fisher's the first look Cinderella horror movie called Cinderella's Curse? I saw a snippet of it somewhere. Somebody sent it to me. I'm not even sure. I'm not even on board with that, to be honest with you. And this is all subjective. I mean, everybody's got their opinion. I've watched all of his movies, and I've just like, okay, Dunkirk, yes. But his other movies, to me, I'm just like, but people love him. His Dark Knight trilogy, outside of Heath Ledger's Joker, I don't watch those movies often. Oh no, they want that cash. There's money in Fantastic Four. All right, guys. I'm going to skip some of those. You're asking Azteca, but he just wasn't on screen. I think John Krasinski could do a great job, but he just wasn't on screen before he got whacked. The Creator in September, Mission Impossible. It's an underrated one. I saw we played the trailer for the Creator a few weeks back. It looked great. Mission Impossible, obviously, Oppenheimer this month, Dune 2 in November. Those are the only movies I'm anticipating. And I got Rebel Moon that's coming out in December. Yeah, he's just not on there enough. Tom Cruise, is that Adrenochrome? Sound of Freedom is a threat to our Mission Impossible franchise. I've been hearing, the only place I've heard of Sound of Freedom is on some streams, and it's Film Junkie bought it up. I'm just, I am oblivious to what this was. I know it's about child trafficking, and I've heard more about it in people's streams, and I never saw a trailer for it. I didn't even know it existed until a few weeks ago, so maybe I'm under a rock. So have any of you guys seen this movie, or do you guys know what it's about? I know what it's about, but I know it has Jim Caviezel in it. And I know he's controversial because of some of his political views. That's all I really know about it. I'd love to see a Cure film, not by Christopher Nolan, but I'd love to see a Christopher film. Nah, Terminator 2, 1, 2, and 3 exist. T3, like I told you before, explains why Terminator 2 is an absolute bullshit at the end when they kill off everything that's supposed to be creating the future that they're trying to avoid. Terminator 3 explains that. So without Terminator 3, you have a Back to the Future level time travel explanation that's non-existent that would be left in Terminator 2. So screw that. Oh, Summer Glau. I'm sorry. I forgot her. She's the main star. She still looks hot now, but you probably need to de-age her a little bit. And like I said, I got a perfect story for her. One of these days when we go on our Terminator stream, I'm going to tell you guys where I have, because to be honest with you would only need to de-age her for a little bit. So because of you're done in time travel. So when was reported that Nolan was directed? I didn't hear about this in this stream. We need to get a hold of Jim Caviezel to start cracking down. He seems like he's still in character. I've widely ignored what he's been going through off screen, so I'll have to read up on that. All right, let's see. I'm going to ban you from the page. I'm just kidding. What is Dole about Danny Bill? What are you talking about? See, Joel, I did it. You got me to bite. You got me to bite on the troll tactic, and I did it. Good for you. No, T2 is not the ending. I've explained this. It can't be the ending. And there's nothing for them to hack into. There's nothing to hack into yet. T2 is not the ending. If that was the ending, then John Connor is gone. Everything disappears because there's no reason to send Kyle Reese back to bang his mom if everything ends in T2. If they stop Skynet and Cyberdyne from happening, then there's no reason to ever send him back. So the present that they're in does not exist. Because it's a paradox. He will always send his father back to secure his existence. But if there's no threat, there's no Terminators are not getting sent back, Kyle Reese isn't getting sent back, and then John Connors is not born. What it should have happened is Linda Hamilton, Sarah Connor should have been wandering around the streets alone because she has no son, because she never had a Kyle Reese to create one with. So there you go. Terminator 3 explains exactly why that happened. Oops. But he had Dark Knight Rises and Interstellar in his way. Yeah, whatever. I got a perfect story for Summer Cloud, but it doesn't involve Terminators. Oh, Lord. I'm afraid to ask. All right. Basically, Jim Caviezel believes Hollywood elites are harnessing blood drugs called andro. Oh, that's why. Okay. Oh, Lord. Taika Waititi. You know what? But cringe on what? I mean, Thor. Yeah, it will be cringe. But if it's what we do in the shadows, or if it's Jojo Rabbit, then that's the Taika I want. You're just trolling me right now. You know damn well that that's impossible. All right, guys, that's it. That's the Midnight Express. I actually went a little bit over an hour. We hit our article. I was going to play the Blue Beetle trailer, but I got an email from our person in Warner Brothers that we work with not to yet. That they have to send me one that is not going to get copyright strike, and I don't want to get anything taken down. I know other people have been playing in other places, and usually what we do is we get permission because we're probably going to end up promoting Blue Beetle, and they usually send us one with the URL in it that will not get tripped up. So I'm waiting for that one. So next time I'm on the air, we'll show the Blue Beetle one that I get directly from them because I don't want to get kicked off. I'm still smarting over that incident a few weeks ago where we did Tadum, and Netflix, who told us to spread the word about Tadum, ended up taking down our entire stream. By the way, I won that dispute. I have no thoughts on it. I'm sorry, Aaron. I'm out of the loop on this entire thing. It doesn't sound like it was a widely released or widely promoted movie. I'm hearing about it on YouTube, so I have no thoughts yet. I don't know if I'm going to see it at all, but I have no opinion about it one way or another. Okay, you're trolling. The first 10 minutes of Thor Ragnarok as his sister came off like Jean-Claude Van Damme, villain from a movie. Yeah, even though that's a grade A performance from her, the dialogue was kind of crazy. All right, guys, please like and subscribe both to Poindexter Lounge, which a lot of you are watching on now. And if you get a chance, go ahead and head over to my YouTube channel, which is also being broadcast, youtube.com/at the Sci-Fi Center. We will have more streams throughout the week. I'm working on some new shows for both channels, so keep an eye out for all that. And that's about it. Oh no, don't be sorry. I just haven't seen it. It's these small, low budget movies will oftentimes escape my radar unless you guys bring them to me. And like I said, I've heard about them on other streams. That's the only place I've heard. So don't be sorry about that. I might get around to watching it, but I'm just not very keen on it. I don't want to give you an opinion off of something I didn't see. All right. Yeah, I'll be down. Like I said, I will be down, and unfortunately, James Gunn won't be at Comic-Con this year. I'm pretty sure that we will probably meet because he's good friends with Lloyd Kaufman. Like I said, even though I'm the big loser that I am, somewhere inside of Lloyd Kaufman's phone, my number sits on the same phone, on the same speed dial as James Gunn, which is probably as close as I'll ever get to James Gunn. All right, guys, you have a good night. Stay safe. Oh, my goodness, stay out of the heat. It's going to be 117 this weekend. My eyeballs are going to shoot out of my head from the heat pressure. So have fun. If you're in the South, if you're in the Southwest with boiling with me, please be careful. Please take care of your senior citizens. Check in on them. Please take care of yourself. Drink plenty of water. This heat stroke ain't a joke. It will hit you. It will hit you, and you may think you're the strongest person in the world till you're falling face forward on that hot concrete. So take care of each other. If you see anybody that looks like they're struggling, give them some water. So heat wave. Okay, RJ, you're gonna have to explain that one. Get with me offline. Are you going to all 4 days? Well, get with me on offline, Fourth. If you're going all 4 days, let me know. All right, man. We'll talk. All right, guys. Have a nice night. I'm gonna go hydrate for the incoming heat day tomorrow. Work on my air conditioner. Work on my site. I've had fun. Thank you for being the best part of this internet experience, and I will see you tomorrow.